Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Rachel. If this is your first time here, welcome. And if it's not your first time here, thanks for coming back. So today we're going to talk about, of course, eyeshadow palettes, which are my favorite thing to talk about, and specifically discontinued eyeshadow palettes that I really wish would come back. I've got a large stack of eyeshadow palettes next to me that I'm going to talk about, and I'm going to rank my top 5. I haven't ranked them yet. I'm going to do it on the fly because I'm trying to avoid it because I love so many of them, but I will rank my top 5 as I go through them. And I want to hear from you, of course, your thoughts on these palettes. But before we get to the video, I'm so excited to say the beginning portion of this video is sponsored by Ana Luisa. It is Ana Luisa's birthday this month. We share a birthday month, Ana Luisa. Shout out to all the October babies. So they are going to be doing their 5-year birthday sale, and it goes until October 19th. You can save up to 30% off on your order when you use the code SAVEMORE. I've seen so many of my friends and people that I trust here on YouTube featuring Ana Luisa on their channel. So when they contacted me, I was very intrigued to try out their jewelry. I love jewelry. I have a lot of jewelry, but I wanted to try some jewelry that was a little bit more of an investment, something that is going to last a long time. And so when I was picking out things from their site, I noticed they have so many options, whether you want something more classic and dainty, or you want something that's a little more of a statement piece. They've got you covered. So I picked out 3 pieces. I'm wearing them all today. So let's start off with my earrings. I have 2 different styles of earrings. I'm a stacker, okay? I'm a stacker. I like to stack and wear several pairs of earrings at once. The first one that I want to show you is what is in my second hole. This is such a cool earring. I've not really seen anything like this where it almost looks like it's a double earring. This one is in the style Harley. It's really, really fun. So like if you only have one hole and you want to make it look like you have 2 holes, it can be styled that way. It's really easy to bend in and out to be able to slip it on the ear, and it feels really sturdy. Like it doesn't feel like when I'm moving it, it's going to break. So I appreciate that. And that is one thing with Ana Luisa jewelry. It has unmatched quality and it goes through a rigorous humidity and strength test to make sure that they're quality pieces and that they're going to last. And you can feel good wearing them because they are tarnish resistant. You know, they're going to last a long time, which I think is really good, especially if you're buying things that are a little more classic. Like they're gonna last for a really long time. And they have a 2-year warranty on all of their products, which is awesome. So then the next pair of earrings I have is the first hole here. Again, kind of a double loop situation. One of the loops is rhinestoned, which I think is super pretty. And this is in the style Toda. It's just like a perfect little huggy hoop. Could be worn casually. You can dress it up because it has that little sparkly effect to it. Love. Absolutely love having like kind of smaller hoops like both of these just to be able to stack. And then finally I have this beautiful necklace, and this is in the style Willow, and it is 2 layered necklaces. Just like I'm a stacker, I'm a layerer too. It is a layered necklace, but it's on one clasp. So it's not like 2 different necklaces that get tangled, that kind of sit funny. Like this is sitting really easily on my neck, and I only have to clasp it once, which is good to me. I'm really enjoying these products. I did get them a little while ago and I've been wearing them every single day just to kind of get my thoughts on them. This is my first experience with Ana Luisa, but so far I'm really enjoying the pieces. So the other great thing about Ana Luisa is they have fast and free US shipping and free exchanges. And so if you are interested in shopping either any of the pieces that I talked about today or anything for the sale, I am going to link down below in the description box. There will be an LTK link featuring these pieces. So again, happy birthday, Ana Luisa. And now let's get to the video. I wasn't kidding when I said I have a stack of palettes. I just took a thumbnail picture because I was already holding them and I only want to have to lift them up once. So let's start off with, a lot of people talk about a lot of the ABH palettes that have gone to the makeup graveyard. One of them that I honestly think is so beautiful, and I haven't used it in a long time, but when I do use it, man, it's good. The Sultry palette. First of all, love the packaging. Was this a holiday release? I think it was. This is what the inside looks like. It's a cool toned neutral lover's dream with a little pop of a coral. The mattes in this are the old school ABH mattes, which honestly I miss. Like I miss those ABH mattes that are a little more powdery, a little more pigmented. Are they beginner friendly? Probably not, but listen, they get you there real quick. You don't have to sit there and build up and build up. And then the shimmers in this are really pretty standard metallics where they have that shine, but they're not like ultra sparkly, but they're still just gorgeous, understated glam looks is what you can get from this. Do you guys remember this? You'll have to let me know, by the way, as I'm going through these, if you picked them up. Did you skip on them and you're having FOMO and you wish you bought them? There are plenty of palettes like that for me, but yes. ABH Sultry is a classic go-to. Unfortunately, discontinued palette. By the way, I normally say like I'll link these palettes down below in the description box, but I can't. But I'll at least write them in a list if you want to reference them. So the next one is a little more of an obscure pick, but this is the Purple Haze palette from Rock and Roll Beauty. Do you remember Rock and Roll Beauty? They were a brand that came out last year, the year before. They only lasted about a year. But I will tell you, I actually really enjoy this palette. This is their first collection that they released, which was the Jimi Hendrix collection. And I bought quite a few things from the collection, the palette being one of those. And this is a really pretty monochromatic purple toned palette. I've gotten a lot of use out of it. I've really enjoyed it actually. Is it the most extraordinary palette in the world? No. Does it compare to Indie Shadows? No. But for the price point, I actually thought it was pretty good. I love that you're getting a mix of cool tone and warm tone purples so that there is somewhat of variety in terms of undertone. The shimmers in this are not sparkly, they're not shiny, they're a little more on the subtle side, but I did get some really good like grungy looks out of this. I love that there is a very light matte for the inner corner. I love that there's a black. The mattes in this are a little more buildable, a little bit sheerer, but I think with purples that's kind of nice because they can build up without being like over the top, looked like you got punched in the eye type of thing. So I really enjoyed this, and it's kind of unfortunate when brands go under, but you know, only the strongest survive out here in these makeup streets, you know? The next palette I want to talk about is from one of my favorite indie brands, and that is the Blend Bunny Primal palette. It's a shame this has been discontinued, but she has to make room for more palettes coming in the future. And I remember when this was first released, I thought the color story was absolutely beautiful. It is kind of a rainbow palette. I mean, no, it isn't. It is a rainbow palette. And the Blend Bunny Blends palette is my favorite palette from the brand. So I was excited to get even more tones to add to my collection. I feel like I'm set with matte shadows. Like, if for some reason all of my palettes disappeared from my collection except for my Blend Bunny palettes, I would have every matte shade I could ever want. You know what I mean? Like, they're packed full of like unbelievable quality mattes in every color. The Blend Bunny matte formula is spectacular, super just like easy to work with, blendable, pigmented but not too pigmented, just in my opinion, the perfect matte formula. And then the shimmers in this are really pretty. If you like more like mid-tone to dark shimmers, they are beautiful. And I thought it was fun that she had a white and a black that was a bigger pan. I would have been happy with a smaller pan, but I can definitely see how someone would want to dip into those, especially if you are a makeup artist and you use those shades a lot. It is nice to have bigger pans. I love the matte white and matte black from Blend Bunny. I reach into them all the time. So unfortunately, this one has been discontinued, but I am glad to have it, and it just completes my Blend Bunny collection. A lot of collab palettes tend to be limited edition because of, I'm assuming, contract reasons, right? Which is fine. So when there's like a really good influencer collab out there that looks good, that's something that like catches my eye, I'm gonna buy it right away because I wanna make sure that I get it before it goes. And one of those palettes for me is the Theresa is Lethal palette, which is Theresa is Dead and Lethal Cosmetics. This was my very first experience with Lethal Cosmetics. It's actually my only Lethal Cosmetics palette that I have. First of all, the packaging, love. Love the extraterrestrial theme. I also love Theresa. I've been a subscriber of hers for a while, so I definitely wanted to pick it up. And then this color story, in my opinion, is perfect for spring. It's just like colorful. The mattes in this are really nice, blendable, a little bit more of that buildable type of formula. This freaking shimmer silver. Do I have to even say anything? I also love the shade Space Trash right here, which is a blue with a pink reflect. I'm not a blue girl, but this, gorgeous. Now, by the way, these are discontinued in the sense that they're no longer available and there are no plans of them coming back. But they did do a restock of this, I want to say a couple of weeks ago, just randomly, and I believe the restock has sold out. So brands may bring these things back from the dead randomly, but as of right now, the palettes that I have in front of me are no longer available, and there's no like actual announcement that they're coming back. I hope that makes sense. But this one did get restocked. It's gone again. So you never know. You just never know with these palettes, it might come back. But I'm so glad I snagged this one. I got some really good looks out of it. This is an oldie but a goodie. This was like one of my first experiences with BH Cosmetics, the Naughty palette. Do you remember this palette? It's ginormous. It's the size of my head. The packaging's a little bulky, but what's inside is spectacular. It's, in my opinion, a well done, large, colorful palette. You've got a lot of neutrals in here. And there's a lot of colors that you can easily pair together. Like, I don't feel confused when I look at this palette. I really feel like I can create a lot of looks. And the quality of these shadows is so good. I want to say this was holiday 2021. I haven't swatched this yet, so I'm gonna have a hell of a time swatching this for this video. The mattes in this are just absolutely gorgeous. Silky, blendable, a little bit on the powdery side, so they are packing some punch in terms of pigment. And the shimmers in this are just really beautiful. There are a couple of pressed glitters, which isn't my favorite thing, but with a palette this big, I'll let it go. Like, there's plenty of other options for me. And for the price point, it is a phenomenal deal. It's good, not just for the price. In general, it's good. And it is a holiday Christmas palette without it being like screaming holiday, screaming Christmas, where I wouldn't want to pick it up any other time of the year. I think they did a great job with this one. Speaking of affordable drugstore shadows, if you've been here before, you know one of my favorite IP collabs was e.l.f. and Chipotle. These are the best shadows e.l.f. has done, in my opinion, that I've tried personally. I love the packaging with like the chrome countertop of Chipotle. I love Chipotle.
Oh my God, I love Chipotle.
So the theme is calling to me. I remember when they released this palette, it was back when IP collabs weren't happening 50 times a week. And it was something that was like actually intriguing and strange. I remember seeing it and being like, is this a joke? Is this real? And it wasn't a joke, it was real. And so I immediately bought it. I think it sold out. Did it sell out that day? This is also back in the days when things would sell out instantly. So this is a gorgeous neutral color story with a couple of pops of color. I think the mattes in this are super easy to use, blendable. A lot of the times with e.l.f. mattes that I've used in the past, they're not good. They're not good. These ones are good. The shimmers in this are also really nice. They are more on the smooth side, which is always my preference for my aging eyes. Absolutely love the color story, love the theme, love the quality of the shadows. I wish they would use this quality shadows in all of their palettes. You'll have to let me know if you agree. I can't say that I've used a ton of e.l.f. eyeshadows. I used a lot of their bite-sized quads, which honestly, I don't really like those quads. I don't think they're as good as people make them out to be. Is that a hot take? But anyway, I do love this palette. We're gonna talk about one of my favorite brands, which is Unearthly Cosmetics, and they have been doing these amazing mystery boxes. They've done a few of them now where they release a specific curated collection with a mystery box. It's not a bunch of stuff that's discontinued, on sale, thrown into a box. It's actually a whole collection and you feel like you're opening a PR box. So I want to talk about one of the palettes in one of those mystery boxes, and this is the Surrender palette. I actually love this palette. I am more of a neutral lover in general. So this is, in my opinion, a neutral palette with a twist. You've got a lot of colors that lean neutral that you could create a neutral look with, but then you've got more pops of pink and red. This was their Valentine's Day mystery box. Was it this year? I think it must have been this year. This year has felt so fast, but also at the same time has dragged on forever. Does anybody else feel that way? I really enjoy this color story, like a lot. You can't buy this though, like individually. She's never released it as its own thing. Maybe she will one day, who knows? But I love that you have some shifty shimmers in here, but all of these shimmers are super smooth on the eyes, which again, I love. This is a great one. Amanda, I think you should sell this as a standalone because it's good. I have six more in front of me. So I've got to get one out of here before I do the ranking, and all 6 of these are just so good. Another influencer collab that I think was done so well is ABH Jackie Aina palette. First of all, the packaging with this like croc iridescent oil slick look is so fun. And then, oh my goodness, so beautiful of a color story. Again, I can remember first seeing this, first getting it and being like, wow, this is so unique to my collection. And honestly, even still now, I feel like this is a unique color story. I feel like the quality of these shadows is very good. The old school ABH quality, but I think even stepped up. I love the selection of jewel tones in here. The mattes are more mid-tone to deep, and they're just rich and beautiful. This is a very beautiful color story. That's what it comes down to. The shimmers in this are also so beautiful. This is a great collab. One of my favorite influencer collabs ever. It hasn't been brought back since it released however many years ago, so I don't think it's coming back, but man, I will cherish this thing. Okay, we have the top 5, and 3 of the 5 are from the same brand. We'll get to that in a second. The only Colourpop one I have on this list is one of my favorite Colourpop palettes that I've ever tried. And if you've been here before, you know it's the Limoncello palette. I love this palette so much. It's so beautiful. From the packaging, which is textured with this Italian summer theme, to the actual color story being a neutral palette with a twist. We've got this summery, beautiful theme. I love the selection of tones in here. I love neutrals, like I've already said. And these are neutrals with an interest. Like, a lot of these shimmers are more ethereal. They're not overly like opaque, thick feeling on the lid. They're not multi-chromes. They're not like overly sparkly, but they're just absolutely stunning. I feel like, and I've said this before with Colourpop, when they do palettes in this design where they're weighted, they have a design on the mirror, they have several palettes in this same packaging form. I feel like those are the palettes that are stepped up in terms of quality. There's just something about them that are a little more sophisticated in terms of the quality. The mattes are really nice. And generally speaking, I like Colourpop mattes overall, but the shimmers are just really beautiful. There's no duds of shimmers in here. I love the pop of yellow and blue. It goes with the theme and just creates a little interest. I don't know why they discontinued this palette. I will say that forever. It's phenomenal. All right, next up, coming in at number 4, I have one of my friends here on YouTube's collab palettes. She does an amazing job every time she does a collab, so I can't really say that I'm that surprised. I'm talking about the Hela palette between Oden's Eye and Angelica Nyqvist. So I love the packaging on all of Oden's Eye's palettes. They are phenomenal. Whoever does their artwork should get a raise. You have Angelica here kind of half dead. And then on the inside, it is the same, but in color. This is a very beautiful, like half green, half pinky purple, which I love greens. Absolutely love greens. These 2 top row of greens are just beautiful. The looks I've gotten out of this are breathtaking. And if you've used Oden's Eye before, the quality is top notch. The mattes are pigmented and blendable, and the shimmers, you're getting several different textures, different formulas in the shimmers, which I think is always fun. The multi-chrome double-sided down here is stunning, and I also love that you're getting this like deep, dark little section down here just to make it a little smoky if you want to go there. This is a phenomenal palette. It has finally been discontinued pretty recently. I think earlier this year, they sold out their last set of these palettes and it's not coming back. But of course, Angelica has a new collab, which I'm loving playing with. I'm still testing it, but you know, she has an eye for color. She knows what she's doing, and Oden's Eye quality, them together as a team, it's the dream team. Coming in at number 3, I have from the same brand, Oden's Eye, I have the Christmas Eve palette and the Merry Christmas palette. I know I'm cheating by putting 2 palettes in the same place, but guess what? It's my video. These, I would say, are the most coveted discontinued palettes according to my comments section. Whenever I bring them up, people just say, I'm so sad that I either skipped on it and missed out on it, or I'm so glad that I picked them up. So this is the Merry Christmas palette. Very, very in theme, very festive. That's what I was looking for. And this is beautiful. The bottom 2 rows in this palette are my favorite because it is a warm toned section. And then you have greens up here, but these are more like cool tone greens, a little bit more bluish greens. Not my favorite color to wear, but the quality of these shadows is phenomenal. So it's only really a preference thing in terms of shades. But again, different textures with the shimmers. Very, very beautiful palette. And then the other palette is the Christmas Eve palette. It's upside down. the Christmas Eve palette. And I remember when I saw these two palettes being sneak peeked, I wasn't gonna pick this one up because I'm not a blue girl, but then I watched several content creators who got this in PR doing looks with this palette, and I was like, wow, okay, I need it. Not a blue girl, not a cool tone girl, but there is something so magical and special about this palette that it is just gorgeous. It is just gorgeous. And there is quite a lot of blue in here, but there's also other looks that you can get out of it. There's a yellow, there's a green, there's more taupey shades, there's more grays. Very beautiful winter palette. I cannot wait to pull this out for the winter time this year. And I don't want to rub it in because I know so many people were so sad about missing out on it, but they are really great. And that's what this video is about. We're just like having a cry fest over here, just reminiscing about things that, you know, I just wish they would come back. Coming in at number 2, I have another palette from that same brand, and that is the Oden's Eye and Judy Red Dragon palette. This is my perfect neutral palette. It's stunning. This was my very first palette that I ever bought from Oden's Eye. And I remember trying this and being like, wow, okay. And it was one of my first experiences with indie shadows in general. And I was like, oh, wow. Okay. Love the packaging as usual with Judy here looking absolutely beautiful. And then this one opens like a book, and we have warm tone neutrals and a couple of pops of green. Again, the quality is the same as everything I've said about these Oden's Eye palettes, but I love that this one's a little more compact, and I just love the color story. It is everything my dreams are made of. I'm so glad I bought this. I didn't buy this right away. I bought it like pretty far after it was released, when they were kind of putting out there like, oh, we're low in stock. Once it's gone, it's gone. And I fell for it. But guess what? I'm glad I did, because I love this palette. And then coming in at number 1, can I have a drum roll, please? I have the Unearthly Cosmetics Fall Magic palette. I've recently talked about this on my channel, but this particular version of this palette has been discontinued. Amanda is the owner of Unearthly, by the way, is releasing a new revamped Fall Magic palette, which I'm so excited to see, but it is different colors and it's a different formula. The shimmers in this are just absolutely gorgeous. Almost like a cream shadow, wet to the touch, shiny, without being chunky, without being overly textured, and the mattes in this are gorgeous. I love the muted, colorful shadows that you get in here, but you can obviously still create a neutral look as well. One of my favorite palettes in my entire collection. Very excited to see what the new one is all about, but this one has a special place in my heart as definitely one of my favorite Unearthly palettes, and definitely one of my favorite discontinued Unearthly palettes. I will cherish this one for a long time to come. All right, and that is it for this palette video. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave me a comment down below letting me know either your thoughts on these palettes, or let me know about any discontinued palettes that you wish would come back, or a discontinued palette that you love in your collection. I would really love to know, because I love hearing from you. And thank you again to Ana Luisa for sponsoring the beginning portion of this video. And if you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up. That helps me out a lot when you do that. And if you're not already subscribed to my channel, I would love it if you would consider subscribing before you leave. I do upload videos weekly, and I'd love to see you back on my channel again. I want to thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.